All right, we're live. Welcome to the weekly real estate talk show with Raul Luna. Congratulations for you guys, making it here today, and for making the space on basically just giving the time and investing this space and time for you guys to be able to get better into the real estate world. So we're going to be covering, secrets of multifamily secrets of investing in real estate. All right. So very powerful what we're going to be covering. So I hope that you're really paying attention, that you're in a place where you are able to take notes because the multifamily secrets that we're going to be covering today, they're very simple, but yet very powerful. So don't let the simplicity of what we're going to be covering today fool you around and think that, give you doubt of maybe not working, because it's completely the opposite way. I learned throughout the years that it takes a genius to simplify things, and it takes anybody to screw up anything, right? Or to make it complicated. So very important to obviously keep it simple, to be able to put it into practice. I want you to note this down, ladies and gentlemen. The best experience that you could ever get in life, it's by doing. Okay, the best experience that you could ever get in life, it's by doing. By doing, you will be able to correct more things, more activities. You'll be able to correct certain actions that is going to propel you into the right direction. If you're aware, if you're ready, if you know exactly where you're headed. So I'm going to make certain assumptions. I'm going to make that if you're here is because you're eager to learn, is because you are maybe in a position where you already have experience. Maybe you don't have experience. Maybe maybe somebody told you about this webinar here today, the weekly real estate talk show with Raul Luna. And regardless of whether you're experienced, regardless whether you have a real estate license or you don't have a license, or whether you're just your first time and you don't know who the heck I am, that's fine. My name is Raul Luna. I live in Modesto, California. I was born in San Francisco, raised in Mexico, been doing real estate for basically almost 2 decades. Have been going and being able to go into the ups and downs, build a very massive real estate portfolio. By the age of 26, lost it all, got wiped out. Grateful to have gone through that experience, because it just makes you better. Keep in mind, pain will teach you certain things that winning will not. Okay, so very important. Now, multifamily secrets that we're going to be covering today. So if you're looking to build your passive portfolio, if you're looking to build some cash flow that basically just puts you into financial freedom, then what I'm going to tell you, this is the actual webinar for you to be in. All right, so just a little bit of what we have done for the passive, in the last, give me a quick second, in the last 18 months, we have been experiencing basically, some great growth, expansive growth on the passive income side as well as the active income side. So, that's very powerful. Very, very powerful that basically that you make a decision and start acting towards that decision. Okay, so anyhow, what is it that you want? You're gonna have to define that. I set a goal, about a few years ago. It was about 2.5, almost 3 years ago, that I said, hey, listen, I set the goal of $20,000 passive income a month, and then we raised it to $100,000 a month, and then we raised it again to $1 million a month. So you decide what you want for yourself. I'm going to get started with secret number one. Secret number one of multifamily investing, it's the number of units and the level of occupancy that you're looking into that asset. Okay, very important. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, the bigger the project, the more units that multifamily complex has, the the more sustainability that property will have. The economy of scale kicks in, and you start basically benefiting from the economy of scale, and you'll see some examples. So number of units in occupancy, and I'm going to show you, two different scenarios. A property that I bought being, 4 houses in one lot, it's considered multifamily because it's more, multifamily could be 2 or more units. It's considered multifamily, okay? Now, you could do 50 units, 100 units, 300 units, still, multifamily on the larger commercial scale. So in a nutshell, 4 units or below, 2 to 4 units is still considered residential, but it's still under the, multifamily world aspect. 5 units and up, it's commercial, and it is considered still multifamily. And today we're going to be speaking strictly about multifamily, right? Although there is various different classes of real estate, from offices, warehouses, from condo offices, industrial, etc. But today multifamily is the actual talk. So now, number of units and the occupancy. Why is that important? Let me show you. I'm going to share, for instance, a presentation of a property. Let me share my screen. Okay, of a property that basically we bought. We bought it. When we bought it, it's in Stockton, California. We bought it for $500,000, from a seller that was, getting ready to retire. He was just, a gentleman that he didn't want to have any more headaches on having to run, obviously, this property, and he was just not keeping up with the property. He was trashing it down, pretty bad condition, 4 homes in one lot. This is the before, as you could see there, 1, 2, 3, 4 homes in one lot. And basically the one on the corner, it was vacant at the time, not when the picture was taken, but at the time that we closed. And it was interesting because, the tenant left. We decided obviously to renovate. The rents were extremely low. There was only one vacant unit, okay? Only one vacant unit in this particular property, which was the corner house. And it was rented for, I think it was $825 at the time. Tenant left, the other 3 stayed. And basically the occupancy was high because the rents were extremely low. Keep in mind, all these houses were 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. Some of them are 2 bath, but the corner one was the only one which is 1 bath. So we decided to basically on the rear of the houses, if you can see this aerial, it's all this land that came with it, okay? It came with it a little over 2 acres of land that came with those 4 houses that you could see here on this aerial. So on the after pictures, when we actually bought it, this is what we converted this home that you could see here. So what we did this here, we turned it into this here, basically, okay? We turned it into this beautiful, stucco with central heat and air, nice home. Now, the rent went from $825 to $1,450, okay? That's when I learned. Now, keep in mind, this home, it went from 3 bedrooms to 2 bath, fully renovated, inside out, with windows, with roof, with central HVAC, everything. But if you notice, there's no garage. It's just 1,000 square feet home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, with a kitchen, laundry, living room, and basically a master bedroom, but no garage. That's when I noticed, okay, this is pretty cool, right? But what I want you to pay attention is the occupancy level. It was at a 75% in this case because there was only 4, okay? Now, the interesting thing was that here it's a 4 units, in one lot. The economy of scale is not a play. You go to any place and try to get, savings because you're remodeling one house, you're not going to get that. And that's why, if you notice, secret number 1 is basically the number of units, and you'll notice it in contrast on another property that I'm going to show you. So what I decided to do was I decided to develop the land behind it. So now we're putting 16, it's going to be a total of 16 units. So if you notice on the rear, on the rear side of the lot, we're going through basically all these homes. We're gonna be putting all those homes there, and they're coming up really, really soon. The interesting thing is that we're doing 12 brand new homes in that location, plus the 4 existing. Now we're hitting a little bit more better numbers of economy of scale. Now, if an older home that are 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, no car garage, fully renovated, but you could still tell that it's a 1950s home, 1960 home, rented for 1450, a brand new place with brand new everything that no one has ever lived ever in the history of mankind. I would say we can bring in about $1,500. Not a big deal, right? So once again, economy of scale at play. When I went and I was able to buy 12 really nice, beautiful, almost 1,100 square feet manufactured homes that are going to go, obviously, basically with permanent foundation. I was able to get better deal because I was buying in bulk, because I was going larger. So we decided to blow it up and made obviously 16 homes in this particular lot. And it's all been approved. We're just waiting obviously for certain things that needs to take place. But the interesting thing is this is just still on the smaller side. In California, obviously, everything tends to be, on the higher price and needs to make sense. But I wanted to share this. I mean, the numbers, don't pay attention to the numbers. I mean, yeah, the numbers are great. But more importantly than anything, what I wanted it is to show you that contrast versus the 56 units that we just closed not too long ago. We bought a 56 unit building. Some of you guys know that. Now on that one, the economy of scale is at a bigger play. When we bought it, it was about 98% occupied. I like properties that are occupied on anything less than 80% makes me concerned. I really prefer, from 85 to 100%. 90 in the 90s is even better, ladies and gentlemen. Now, when you're dealing with very little tiny properties like a duplex and one is vacant and one is occupied, you will notice that automatically the percentage is 50-50. That doesn't mean that I don't pay attention to that. I'm talking about when you're dealing with multifamily at a bigger scale, at a scale of 50 units and up, I would say. That's when I would like to be no less than 85%. Why? Various reasons. Keep in mind that in order for you to get a loan, it's going to require that the building, it's further, further into the higher end of the numbers on the occupancy level. Okay, so the number of units have a dramatic play. Our 56 unit building, we were able to get, companies that will give us some massive discounts from material to labor to, there's a fencing company that is going to go next month in July. They're going to go and literally make the entire complex gated, gated community with automatic door openers and all the balconies, all the canopies. The place is going to get transformed for a phenomenal price that I wouldn't be able to get on a 2-unit, 3-unit, or 4-unit place. It's 2-unit and 4-unit or 5-unit has its place for investors. But I'm talking about secret number one. It's number of units. The bigger, the better. The bigger, the more sustainability, the economy of scale, and the higher the occupancy level, the better the numbers as well, because it gives you, obviously easy funding from, many different sources. Okay. Secret number 2 is cash on cash. I look more at cash on cash, ladies and gentlemen, than anything else on this secrets. There's 5 secrets that I'm going to be sharing. Cash on cash. What is cash on cash? Is the money that you put into the deal, in all the money that you or your partners put in, and the money that you get back out, it gives you a percentage. Example, let's say that you put in, let's just say as an example that you put into a property $1 million into a deal, okay? You put $1 million into the deal and you will get, let's just say net, at the end of the day, after paying net to the pocket, after paying for every expense that that property is going to generate, okay, including mortgage, including taxes and insurance and utilities and repairs and reserves and vacancies and everything that you can think of, okay? So if you put $1 million and you're getting, let's just say, $78,000 as an example. So you'll divide $78,000, which is the net cash flow before the actual personal taxes, divided by $1,000, I mean by $1 million, and that's going to give you a 7.8 cash on cash percent. In California, you know, if you're able to get 7.8 cash on cash, it's pretty good. You know, I will still prefer 10% cash on cash, but in California, you know, you could get 7.8, you could get it almost everywhere outside of the big metro areas. You know, but anyways, that's cash on cash, money that you put in and cash flow that you get out, you know, for the money that you brought in. So there's deals that will give you great cash on cash. Now, don't look at the, you know, the bigger percentages. It's always the better. Cash on cash, to me, why is it important? Because it gives you a measure of the passive of the passive income that you want to make on your money. Some deals will make infinite returns. Some deals, you know, you will not even need to put money of your own. You know, maybe you put, you know, first position loan and second position private money lending or private money loans as well. And guess what? It could, you know, some deals could, will, you know, they're out there, harder to find, but definitely possible, that can give you obviously infinite returns. But cash on cash, it's one of the secrets that I personally use when I want to invest in a deal. I'll give you an example. I made an offer today on a San Francisco complex that I'm targeting X cash on cash. It's going to take me about 12 months, possibly 18 months to take it to where I want it to be, but I'm using cash on cash. In San Francisco, I'm okay with a 7% cash on cash. Very tough to do, but it's possible to do, okay? Now, once again, when you're talking on metro areas, it's gonna be obviously more challenging, more competitive, and things of that nature. But there you go. Secret number 3 is the debt to leverage, debt and leverage. Now, why is it important, ladies and gentlemen? On secret number 3, why debt and leverage is important. It's important because depending on the asset or the property that you're getting will depend what type of loan you're going to be able to get. Give you an example. I remember when I first started in real estate many years ago, I could not understand words from wise people. I could not understand words from wise men when your personal growth is not there, when your conscious level is not there, when the experience is not there, when you don't have a mentor that is coaching you or guiding you. I remember hearing words or phrases like this: it's easier to borrow millions of dollars than to borrow $20,000-$30,000. And I couldn't understand that. And I just couldn't, until obviously several years later. Today I can tell you that's so true. It's much easier to borrow millions than to borrow, $100,000 or less. Why? Very simply put, because on the millions, especially if it's backed up by real estate, multifamily, lenders love multifamily. Lenders love real estate, especially in the housing industry, on the apartment complex world, in the multifamily world. They will lend on an asset that is pumping cash flow, and they will allow you to maximize on leverage, as long as they can good about, that the asset is going to cover their expenses. They use certain metrics like a DCR, which is debt service coverage ratio. The DSCR is basically just a measuring metric that lenders use so that they can understand, if the asset is going to pay them back in the event that they will have to get it back. So what type of loan or debt can you put into that multifamily? The smaller, for instance, 2 to 4 units, guess what? You're going to be able to qualify under the residential guidelines, loans. For 5 units and up, you're going to basically, you're going to be able to qualify, for the commercial side aspect. But what if you have 5 units versus a 50 or 100 unit building? Way different. 5 units only produce 5 cash flows. That's it. What is easier? Is it easier, to have 50 units or 5 units to leverage on debt? What do you think lenders will lend easy on? Who do you think? Do you think that they'll lend easier on the 5 units or easier on the 50 units? Provided that their, location is similar, units are similar, everything is similar. What do you think? And I've experienced it firsthand. Laurie, it's much easier to do 50 alone on a 50 unit building. Why? Because 50 households paying for that loan is much secure than 5 households paying for that loan. Doesn't matter. The loan could be a small loan. It's still much more secure on the bigger scale. Very powerful. Now, what type of debt can you put on the asset is very important. Give you an example. When you're in the millions, especially in the 3, 4, 5 millions or up, then you start getting into the Freddie Macs, the Fannie Maes, which are loans basically done by the government, where the rate are bare to nothing, okay, like super low, like free money. But that only happens with the bigger scale assets. Try to get a Freddie Mac loan on a 5 unit building that you're buying for $500,000. It's not going to happen. They got certain guidelines, so the bigger, the better. That's why, you could get loans right now for, I'll give you an example. I just got one at 4.9, and that's expensive, on a commercial shopping center, a place that I just closed maybe about a week ago. It was a refinance. I refinanced it, and I got 4.9%. The debt that I got into that asset, it's high. 4.9%, it's high compared to a rate that you could get on a multifamily building, especially when you're going big. Now, why is that important? Because the debt is the beauty, it's the wonder, it's the ultimate leverage machine for the real estate world. You can't leverage on stock, on many other things like gold, silver, oil. Like there's a lot of things they will not lend you money on to buy them. But real estate, we're blessed that in real estate, the government is willing to put obviously money into it and pay you not only on leverage, but taxes. Another thing, and that's going to be secret number 6, as a matter of fact. Okay. But anyways, I'll leave that towards the end. Secret number 4, ladies and gentlemen, secret number 4, you better make sure that it's a growing market. You better make sure that there's job growth, that there is, housing growth, that there is population growth. And basically that crime is also coming down. Very important. There's gotta be growth. Otherwise, you're going to get yourself into trouble. Okay. I will, and Mr. Jose, I know that you have a question. I'll get to you on that one. It's great thing. Will the new state rent control, affect your NOI? It could. And I don't know if that's, obviously they still got to take it to another place to get it confirmed, to my understanding. So basically, he can, but you could always buy him out too. I mean, this is the game. Be willing to share be willing to share to create, um, to create. It's okay to share while you're creating wealth. Okay, and I'm okay with that. When I buy a building in San Francisco, more often than not, I'm basically sharing the wealth and buying the tenants out, because I know that if we're going to displace them, let's displace them with style. Let's help them as well. And you may think, oh, Raul, you're too nice. I mean, I want to think that I'm nice, but at the same time, picture yourself there, right? Like living there, and then all of a sudden you got to go. And I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I would prefer not to. But at the same token, if there's upside to be made, hey, listen, there's always a way around it, as long as you are willing to make it win-win for everybody, right? So anyways, let me show you. I want to go ahead and share my screen, where I'm going to bring you up to certain websites. I want to bring you, like, for instance, picture this. Okay, I just want you to picture this as you're getting to see it here on the screen. So for instance, look at Stockton population. Okay, look at Stockton population. It's been growing ever since, so for freaking ever, basically, since the 1990s. Now the interesting thing is, when you go to Stockton and go to citydata.com, you can research a little bit more, and you can notice that you can see, for instance, estimated income household back in 2000 and where is it at? Estimated okay, and the data may not be like ultra updated. Don't worry about it. I mean, don't be that super anal about it, because the whole point is you want to make sure that it's not in a downtrend. None of the data is extremely perfect, but at least you'll know what I'm talking about. Look what it's telling you here. Estimated medium. Look what it's saying here. Estimated medium household income for 2016 is 49,000. Back in 2008, 2000 it was 35. So it's grown. That's a good sign. Per capita as well has grown. Income per capita. For instance, median household or condo. Back in 2016, 243 from 1117 has grown. So there's growth here. Because there's growth, then I know that I feel good that, Stockton is a great market. I'll show you our 56 unit. Look the growth where we bought our 56 unit in Los Banos. Since 1990, this thing it's just being freaking growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And then when you look at the data, basically, you could also be, it also tells you a story. It was 43,000 back in 2000, 49,000, 15,000 per capita, 20,000, in 2016. Housing was 138, now it's 241, blah, 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 blah. Now, I think that should give you an idea. You gotta be on a growing market, ladies and gentlemen. Secret number 5. The gap, okay, the gap from the current rent to the market and the premium rent, okay, from the market and the premium rent. Why do I say this? When on both of the properties that I've been sharing here in this webinar, the Stockton one and the Los Banos one, the 56 units and the 4 units, they both had a disparity, a gap from 825 to 1450. 1450, to my taste, is the premium rent. Why I call it premium? Because our home was done ultra nice. We didn't put expensive stuff, but it was done ultra nice. That people paid premium. The rent really for the area, it's more like $1,300 to maybe $1,350. So people were willing to pay $100 to $150 in premium to have a really nice home with great amenities and in a great place where even Amazon it's 2 blocks away from our location. So So that's important. Our Los Banos property, the market says that the property, the rents, currently the rents are $850. The market is saying that it could be rented for about $1,000, and we just put the very first unit on the market at $1,200. And guess what? We're getting a lot of hits. We just did it maybe about a couple days ago, and we're getting a lot of hits. I can't wait to get to see what's going to happen there. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because, once again, that's secret number 5, is checking out where are you on the current rent, where is the market rent, and what premium can you charge by doing certain amenities. And amenities like, we decided to put central HVAC. They didn't have any. We decided to make it gated community. It was open to the public. We decided to put, brand new balconies. We decided to, improve the quality of living in the entire complex and making everything brand new again. Laminate, high luxury laminate flooring, brand new bathrooms, kitchen cabinets, lighting, etc. So, there's a premium that people are willing to pay. So you gotta, obviously, that's a secret in the multifamily world. Secret number 6, ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude today, is taxes. Secret number 6. I don't know if you know this, but you get paid when you buy multifamily on the bigger scale. Just so that you know and have an idea, very, very blessed that our partners and I, we're going to do what is called a cost segregation. And the company, the engineering tax company who's going to be doing that for us, told us that we could get in the upwards of 1.3 to $1.5 million in tax break. In other words, because we bought this building, okay, we're going to be able to deduct above $1 million in taxes, because we bought it, because we were willing to provide housing to the market. Keep in mind, the government rewards the actions that the government wants. The government wants to provide housing to the people, so they reward, or they give incentives, I should say, for those actions. I'm just so blessed and so grateful that and see, you can't do that on a 4-unit building. You can't do what is called a cost segregation. It is not cost effective, so, but there's many, many more things. If there's, a few questions, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take maybe, let's just say 5 to 7 questions, and then we'll wrap it up for the day. So I think we covered a lot. Hopefully, you've taken a lot of nuggets from it, and, make sure that you stay on top of your real estate game. So we can go ahead and start with some questions. Okay. What was the purchase price of the property again? Which one, Mr. Carlos? The Stockton one or the Los Banos one? Los Banos, it was 4.5 million, I think. Yeah, 4.5 million. Stockton was 500,000. Any other question, ladies and gentlemen? I think we got another one here. Okay. Now, what was the purchase price? Okay, the $4.1 million. Yep. So the Los Banos is 4.5 million. We're putting about $1 million into it in capex, in renovations. And based on where we think it's going to be headed, the valuation of the building is going to be way, way, way above $8.5 million. People can't afford the rents in the Bay Area, so they are moving to Stockton. Right. Hey, I know things are getting much more expensive, especially in everywhere, in the Bay Area and everywhere. But I think also people focus on the wrong things. They should be focusing on how could I make more income, and uh, rents will always go up, and it will always go up. They may come down slightly, but ever since I can remember, ever since that I have conscious to remember, rent as well as many other things has always gone up. So people need housing, and they need more than affordable housing, which I think is important. They need abundant mindsets. Are new multifamily developments a good idea to invest, especially if there's a long period of to build? Great questions. Great questions, everybody. Texas is building like freaking crazy, and all I can tell you is, yes, where it makes sense to build, where it makes sense to build. The thing of it is some areas don't make no sense to build at all, and the numbers. I mean, you don't want to build to lose. You want to build to provide housing, and as well as make a good decent return on that investment. So regardless, is it a good idea? Yeah, I will look into it. I'm always constantly looking into it, but a lot of those developments sincerely don't make sense unless the government gives you special credits or special incentives or things of that nature, which they do. But sometimes to get to those, you gotta be you gotta know your craft. You gotta be a developer that knows its craft. In my case, developing, it's really more into the beginning stages. Is not my primary game. It's at the beginning stages. I play it only when I know that the downside is extremely, extremely, extremely secure. So, any advice on securing lending on larger multifamily condos? What is the best place to look for commercial multifamily opportunities? Any advice on securing lending on larger multifamily condos? Mr. Carlos, my personal advice is, when I first started my career, I started researching all commercial lenders that I could obviously interview, and I would choose and pick. At the beginning, I'll tell you, just select one, build a relationship with that person, and then eventually that will start getting you other people. So the people that I deal on the commercial world is basically, I usually bridge my purchases. I buy them even my 56 units, we bought it with a bridge loan because we're doing the value add, and then we're going to refinance it. One of the personal advice that I will tell you, go to meetups. There's a lot of meetups that are commercial lending meetups, or commercial commercial multifamily meetups, and you'll be able to get people there. I go to a lot of meetings, ladies and gentlemen, and I meet people, and that's how I got to meet people that today we do business. Often other people, when you start making noise, then people will start coming to you. But if you're not at that level yet or that position yet, that's fine. Go to meetups, present yourself. Another thing is, go to every single, meetup group out there and leave your name. Hey, my name is Raul Luna. I'm a local, commercial real estate investor looking for great lenders. Who do you recommend? The ones that I personally use are bridge lenders. And then on the back end, I use a guy out of the Bay Area, which his name is Mike. Mike, I think it's Mike Ryan, but I'll be more than happy to provide his info. I just don't have it at hand. And then basically that's what it would be. Now, every broker is different, ladies and gentlemen, depending what is the asset that you're buying. If you're buying four units or less, okay, it's going to be somebody. If you're doing new development, it's going to be somebody else. If it's multifamily, from 50 units or more, then you want somebody else. So it's really you getting the footwork done, up front, and just asking them, what is your specialty? And I prefer people doing what they're expert at than trying to do a little bit of everything in that respect. Yeah. Ms. Lorene, there you go. So I use Mr. Michael Ryan. So anyways, so any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? Where's the best place to look for commercial multifamily? I'll tell you this much. I go to loopnet.com, not necessarily because you find the best deals, but you find the real estate agents that you can make the relationships, the connections that will lead to a relationship that will get you the deals, you know, in the back end. So that's one way. Another way is, you know, meetups. Another way, it's really just connecting through events, through real estate events, you know, REI events and things like that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me here at the weekly real estate talk show with Raul Luna. We'll get to see you next time. What I will tell you is this: go to reiprofitvault.com. Take a look at at what we got going on. We record all of our monthly meetings that we have in San Mateo, California. Basically, we have a meetup group that is called Bay Area Buying Properties for Profit. So go to the meetup, get registered, join us this coming Thursday. I mean, not this coming, I think it is. No, not this coming Thursday, but next following Thursday, which I believe, if I'm looking at the calendar, you know, it's going to be on the 27th. But anyways, every fourth Thursday of every month, we get together, okay? Brilliant real estate investors, you know, new real estate investors, real estate agents, new real estate agents, experienced real estate agents, get together and get to learn from each other. Those we get to record, we get to upload them, and for a little bit over, an overpriced cup of coffee, which is $7, you get to have access to all of those recordings. Basically, even if you're not local, you may be from another area, perfectly. You know, just go and check out reiprofitvault.com and get signed up and get to see you in the next event, next videos, certainly in the next webinar here next week. Congratulations. Have a phenomenal one. Thank you.